I'd like to introduce our presenters for today, giving us a presentation entitled Systems of Care in the ID/DD World. From the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities is Meredith Mendoza, a program administrator for the Family Outreach and Education Program, as well as Leanne Smoot, a cross-system regional liaison representing the Southwest region under the Multi-System Youth Program. Welcome, Meredith and Leanne, and thank you for presenting to us today.
Thanks for having us. We're excited. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Okay, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Andrew and Dr. Whitwer, for having us. As Andrew mentioned, we are with the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. Leanne is a great colleague. She works with youth across the Southwest region of Ohio. And my role as family outreach and education is finding resources and helping families with those initial questions as they're learning about the DD system. So in Ohio, our system is set up by county boards. So there are 88 counties, so each county has their own county board. And this is where services and support begin and are accessed for people living with developmental disabilities. So how do you get into a county board of developmental disability? There is an eligibility process, of course. So the steps are, the criteria includes a presence of a disability developed before the age of 22 and due to a mental or physical impairment or combination. With the development of the disability before the age of 22, there doesn't have to be necessarily a document that says, such and such diagnosis. It really depends on how the diagnosis has impacted this person's life. So that leads me to the functional limitations. How does a person, navigate? So just because a person has autism does not mean that they automatically qualify for county board services. Some people are more impacted than others. So to get the process started, you can contact your local county board of developmental disabilities. I have a website here, or, a lot of people call me and I just find it for them also. Once the county board is contacted, there's documentation that will be requested. So any educational documentation, diagnostic assessments, and in cases where it's not available readily, the county board can also have the release of information signed to help you locate those documents. We have a lot of folks who are adults who learn about the county board system. They're not in school, so they're like, where do I go? How do I get these papers? The county board can help you locate that information. Once the information is gathered, a county board will administer what's called, excuse me, the Ohio Eligibility Determination Instrument. So you may have heard it as the COEDI or the OEDI. Excuse me. So this documents a person's abilities in the areas that they need support. The difference between the COEDI, excuse me, thank you for your patience. The difference between the COEDI and the OEDI is that the COEDI is done for children ages 6 to 15. And once if child is turned 16, then the OADI is administered. So we talked about functional limitations. How does the diagnosis affect a person's life? So under the age of 3, functional limitations are going to look different than what is classified as a functional limitation for an older child. So individuals younger than 3 must show the presence of a developmental delay or a risk of having a developmental delay. A child 3 to 5 must have at least 2 developmental delays. And then for ages 6 and older, this is the criteria that is being reviewed. And taking note that for an individual that is 16 or older, if they show that they're not able to provide financially for themselves, that's definitely something to consider. So you've gone through the steps, you've gone through the COEDI, you have showed documentation, and you are eligible now for county board services. Every county board has a different structure and a different system of how they want to address the needs of the folks in their region, and that's great. If you think about Lawrence County, which is the southern tip of Ohio, things are gonna look very different than they will in Columbus or in Cincinnati. So we like to, allow the county boards to do what they need to meet the needs of the folks that they're serving. So typically, the county board at this point will assign an SSA or a main point of contact to look at services and support. That SSA will discuss the areas of need, and it'll be recorded on a document that is called the Ohio ISP, so Individual Service Plan. And that plan is similar to what we can look at in the education system as an IEP, looking at the needs, looking at what things, what are the strengths, where are the barriers, where do we look at these things? This is a list of some services that a county board can help you identify. Some county boards are able to provide these services through local funds, and sometimes it's just finding the right resource. So one thing that wasn't on that list was wait list assessment. So wait list, a lot of folks, when they go to the county board, they're asking about a waiver. So a little history on the waiver. Prior to 2018, there was a wait list. So folks would go in and, sign up today and wait for your number to be called. And in the state of Ohio, we realized this just doesn't make a lot of sense, because there's people who are waiting for a very long time for services, and there's people who just happen to have their number called up. There were people who were, receiving a waiver, but they didn't really know what they needed, or, maybe when they signed up, they didn't really have that need anymore. So the state of Ohio went through and really worked to rework how waivers are being assessed. So now waivers, which are basically additional funding that help folks stay in the community, those are assessed by immediate needs and current needs. And, as it states, this is a standardized process that's used across the county boards. So when the assessment is done, the outcome is not always that a person needs a waiver. A waiver is not going to be a magic ticket or a golden ticket for every need that a person has. In some cases, it's helpful, and sometimes it's, maybe not right now, but maybe later a waiver will be more support. So that's a very quick overview of what we do at some of the services that are available through our counties. As you can see here on this map, we have several subject matter experts across the state of Ohio. Our regions are divided. So subject matter experts that we have address different areas of life. So community life engagement specialists, they help with employment and technology. We have folks who can help not only people served, but also county boards. So, if there's a case or a situation where, a county board is just not sure, we have lots of folks who can help with directing and answering questions. And if we don't have the answer, we know somebody who does. So I am going to switch it over to our one of our subject matter experts that I'm sure we're all really excited to hear from. So Leanne, if you want to go ahead and take it over.
Thanks, Meredith, and thank you guys for having us today. Hope this is a good use of your time and you find the information helpful. So I'll begin with explaining what we do for multi-system youth. So what does that term mean? I'm sure many of you have heard it and are familiar, but this is when children require services from more than one child serving system. And what we've seen is the complexity of these individuals really requires that cross-system collaboration. And so enter our team. This is what we're here for. Most of the time, we're considering things such as trauma-informed care. We're looking at individuals who have involvement also with juvenile justice, child welfare, and doing our best to prevent re-traumatization of these individuals as they navigate the service delivery system. So our goal at DODD is to keep kids with their families in their home communities to the greatest extent possible. And I think that's important that we share with you our philosophy and vision for supporting kids because we're always going to want to start in the home environment. Research tells us that's the best place to be. And so that's what we're going to try and encourage for our community members. So some resources that might be available is our Trauma-Informed Care webpage and our wellness project. So Trauma-Informed Care, pretty self-explanatory. It's going to tell you what is trauma. It's going to provide you with some training materials, whether you choose to engage in an online training series or perhaps quick videos, handouts, things of that nature. You're going to find that all on our Trauma-Informed Care webpage. And the Wellness Project is a project designed in support with the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services to support organizational wellness, whether that's in the workplace or in our individual lives. A lot of times we like to share this resource with families in particular. Raising a child, supporting a loved one with a developmental disability comes with its own set of challenges. And being able to keep ourselves regulated is how we're going to be able to support these individuals as they navigate services. So in-home resources for multi-system youth, we do oversee 2 different programs to try and keep kids at home to the greatest extent possible. The first one I'm going to discuss is our Youth Technical Assistance Program. Our team consists, I think we have 6 or 7 regional liaisons. I should know the exact number, but we cover the catchment areas. So you go to your map, you see who your contact is, and you can say, we're interested in youth technical assistance. Can you help us? We have a referral form. You tell us what's going on with the individual. Things that we can provide to you are resources in the areas of behavior interventions, family resources, could be funding resources, different community resources that might be helpful. And so this is done we meet with the team, we meet with the guardian, the school, we bring everybody to the table and tell us what's going on. What do we need to do? How can we help this person move forward and support them? And so then our team will put our heads together. Our team consists of a mental health clinician, a registered nurse, and then one of us from the regional liaison team in the area of behavioral health service subject matter experts. We'll put our heads together, create an individualized report, send it back to the team for the team to review and consider. They are just recommendations, and we allow that to go through the team process. So the next program that we have is our MCAT. Of course, we love our acronyms in this field, but that stands for the Multidisciplinary Comprehensive Assessment Team. And this is a clinical panel that is overseen by our partners at Ocali, the Ohio Center of Autism and Low Incidence. I see some of you on there today. Hi, guys. So our MCAT panel consists of specialty clinicians in the area of dual diagnosis, so individuals with both developmental disabilities and co-occurring mental illness. So this panel includes a psychiatrist, our wonderful Dr. Julie Gentili, who provides us great information about supporting those folks with DD and MI. We also have autism experts from Ocali. We have a physician on the panel, our Dr. Laura Sorg. We also have occupational therapy, a speech therapist, and trauma experts. So that team, again, will come together and provide clinical recommendations to support the individual in the home environment. In order to carry out some of those recommendations, the family can elect to have a regional coach to go into the home and help them do those things. So if we're talking about implementing a visual schedule, that regional coach very well may go in and demonstrate with the individual how to do that. Sometimes we give folks lots of paper, lots of reports, try this, and then sometimes it's hard to implement those things without someone partnering with you and doing it with you. And so we've had a lot of great success with this program, and I'm excited for our future with MCAT and our team at Ocali. So there are times where teams are beyond the point of trying to get recommendations, right? Teams have said, we've tried that, we've done that. We're really in a crisis, and we really need to look at placement outside of the home to stabilize the individual. At DODD, we do have two different options available for multi-system youth at this time. We have our intensive behavior support rate add-on home. Actually, we have several homes throughout the state of Ohio. We have 2 5-bed male home intermediate care facilities and supported by ViaQuest. And we have 2 homes that are supported by Beacon at this time. There's so many more that are being developed at this time as well in Cuyahoga County. I believe we're looking at an expansion in Montgomery. And so while our numbers are low, we are working hard to recognize the crisis that we are in terms of residential access for children with disabilities and co-occurring mental health. So we're trying to create those short-term stabilization options at the department and hope that we can get more providers on board to meet the growing need that we have. This is a short-term program with extensions provided as necessary. So we aim for that 180-day mark for both the IBS RAO as well as our Tiffin Developmental Center. So if we see that this individual is unable to find placement on a short-term basis in an intermediate care facility, or they are unable to be supported safely in their home or home community, the team may consider a referral to the Tiffin Developmental Center. This is one of, I should again know this, but we have a number of developmental centers across the state. I believe we have 8 of them, and one of them is for children. So if anyone under the age of 18 would need stabilization, and basically a developmental center is a state-run intermediate care facility, they would then submit an application for admission to Tiffin. Of course, you heard me talk about youth technical assistance. We want to see that the team has exhausted all possible community-based options before resorting to a potential institutional type of placement as the most restrictive option for placement that we have and offer in our DD system. And I think I'm going to turn it back over to Meredith so she can talk more about housing options for our adult population.
Yes, thank you so much, Leanne. Awesome. So yeah, when I was putting this together, folks asked about housing options. We do have a subject matter expert specifically around housing, and she works with county boards to help find opportunities. These are a few of the programs, and her information is here. I will put all of this together and send it to Manisha and Dr. Whitwer for you guys to have this information. And just really quickly, in our role of supporting families and people living with disabilities, we really look at the needs of folks around, you know, as we discussed in previous weeks around charting the life course, what does it take for you to live the life that you want to? We look at all of the different opportunities and resources that are available and what can be available. There's a few ways to connect with us through the Family Advisory Council, which is an opportunity for families to connect with leadership. I have a colleague, Nathan Turner. He is a gentleman living with cerebral palsy, and he has created a forum for people living with disabilities to advocate and connect with leadership. It's the Disability Connect. We like to focus on marginalized communities. So we have found through research that fathers often feel that they have a very unique journey in supporting their loved ones with disabilities. So Corey Ferguson, the Ohio Life Course Nexus manager, he has created resources and continues to work to support this very unique population. We work a lot on creating toolkits and other resources. Recently, Leanne's team created an elopement training. So I think it was great. So families and people serving people with disabilities can learn about that. We have a podcast as well that is led by my colleague, Nathan Turner. And this is a great caricature of him. So I want to be mindful of time and open it up for any questions. How'd I do, Andrew?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Meredith and Leanne, for sharing all of that information and those resources with us. I know we have many county board folks in our audience today, but I'm, even curious, from their perspective, what types of questions they might have or other ways that they could express this collaboration between counties under a state umbrella, or ways that we can continue to work together. So as everyone's thinking about questions that they might have, please feel free to use the raise hand feature or unmute yourself. You may also type a question in the chat. I also want to recognize that we have someone calling in today from an 828 number ending in 662. If you could press *6 to unmute yourself and let us know who you are so that we can rename you in our participant list.
Hi, my name is Tyler Giese, Giese, and I'm a senior strategic advisor with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
Thanks, Tyler. And could you spell your last name for me just once more?
Yeah, G is in girl, I is in igloo, E is in egg, S is in Sam, E is in egg.
Thanks, Tyler. Appreciate that. We did have one question come through in the chat. For MSY or multi-system youth, what ages of individuals do you serve?
Find the unmute button there. Sorry about that. So our early intervention program serves individuals 0 to 3. And anytime after that, the team is welcome to reach out to us. Admittedly, we don't see a lot of 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, but we are seeing more of that 6 and 7 age range coming up. Our average is 14, but we will serve up to 18. And of course, if there's transitional age individuals who are still receiving school supports, we very well may be available for that transition age. So we like to stay flexible as much as we can.
Thank you. David.
Thanks, Kelly and Meredith, Arlene and Meredith. I have a question about resources in Southwest Ohio, perhaps, and Cincinnati area. I've come across a few clients recently. I'm with Envision, and we're a DD services agency, but we have a mental health services department. We're not certified to provide substance use disorder treatment. It just doesn't make sense given the low numbers that we encounter. But we've also gotten a number of referrals recently for clients, well, not a number, a couple really, about 2, for clients with substance use disorders. And they've tried to go through the traditional mental health substance use disorders treatments. And they're just not prepared to deal with our client population. Do you have any recommendations for resources for these referrals that we're receiving?
Do you guys often partner with Ohio Rise? I know that that is right along the lines of what they're hoping to accomplish with resources for substance abuse and things like that. Certainly, if you need any kind of connection there, I'm happy to make that, and I'll put my email in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. We are certified with Ohio Rise to provide services, and we do partner with them, but these referrals tend to be adults. So that's a little challenging. But thanks.
Definitely sounds like it. And I may also loop in one of our community resource coordinators with that as well, which is essentially they also provide technical assistance, but for our adult population, see if they might have any in this region too, to move that forward and get more support for you guys as you navigate those referrals.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. Any other questions for our presenters today?
I have another question. So Meredith, I know you say you have all of the subject matter experts in all those areas. It's such an amazing resource that you have there. If someone has a specific question for one of them about a case or something of that sort, are they the person? If they have a question about a specific case, would that be the person they would go to if someone at their county board doesn't have? Or if they're not at a county board, but they're serving someone in the community as a mental health provider, are those folks that are available to the community for technical assistance?
Yes, and Leanne, I'm going to look to you also. So I get a lot of questions from a lot of folks who say, I have a disability, and I often have to explain, like, our system is for folks with intellectual and developmental disabilities prior to age 22. Let's say an individual has a question about Medicaid. Yes, that would be their person. So we have that county board map, and or the subject matter expert map. I apologize. And I like to refer folks to the map because we are switching a lot, and Leanne can attest to that. Our teams move around a lot. I personally am not on that list. Our housing subject matter expert is not on that list because we serve the entire state. We don't have a region. So yes, and typically if we don't know the answer, we'll refer to our colleagues. Sometimes it starts off as like a really simple question, and then I'm like, oh, no, I need other people. So yeah, I've collaborated with Leanne recently on something in Hamilton County.
Great, thank you.
And as far as technical assistance goes, we do require that any referrals for technical assistance occur after someone has been determined eligible for county board services. So that is our one and only prerequisite. Otherwise, any team member can make that request. So even if you don't know, oh, I don't have the referral form, I don't know what to do. If you know who your regional contact is, they can partner with you and the county board to make sure that that request moves forward.
So it sounds like we should put, with the summary of this presentation, a link to those regional subject matter experts, because they sound like a fabulous first point of contact.
Right. And I like to say also, I spoke with somebody at a county board recently, and they were like, I didn't know that you guys existed. And, people get scared to contact us. And sometimes there are questions that are just unique. And it's like, how do I figure this out? So we're here to help folks along the way.
Yeah, I was also really impressed by the range of such subject matter experts that are available at your disposal at the department. And so, yeah, I think spreading that awareness of that as a resource and what's available is really important. But something that also struck me is you think about individuals who are eligible to receive services, and they need to meet 3 of these critical limitations in function, as you described, and it falls under being able to care for oneself, the ability to live independently. And so you automatically recognize that the importance of family members and parents and guardians and providing support to a person to get services, to get access, to navigate this system. So could you just speak briefly about that importance and how family members, support persons are being trained to empower the individual with disability in their life to, really utilize these services to their advantage through things like supported decision making, person-centered planning, anything else related to that?
Wow, that's a big question. We work really hard, like particularly in my role, I work really hard to find resources and find the gaps. Where are those gaps that exist in resources and understanding? Because kind of referencing our case from today, every state's a little bit different. I've done a lot of research on how different states handle their DD services. I know in Texas, MH and DD are together. They're not two separate entities. So, that's easier, but they have a county board system, much like Ohio does. Other states have regional support. So that's a barrier that I have found, is that when folks are moving here, they come and don't have any knowledge of what Ohio does and how we do it. For me, I try to create as many resources. The person-centered planning piece, it's really about collaborative efforts, which is why I love what Leanne's team does. And with Leanne's team, you can speak more to this, Leanne. I think it's more when folks are in crisis, but not everybody comes to us in crisis. Like, there are times that you just need to know, like, my son's teacher said this, and I need to understand what this is. So the department is working on a lot of initiatives and a lot of projects with the Ohio Department of Education, with OOD, which is the Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities. We have so many projects going on. In transparency, this presentation took me a little bit of time because we have so many subject matter experts. I had to refer to them and say, okay, I'm going to present on your behalf because I know you have something else scheduled. So tell me what to say so that I can give accurate information. So I don't know if that's answering your question, Andrew.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And I recognize that was a big ask, but yeah, I think it's really important to continue to think about, when we're doing person-centered planning and we're developing teams to support individuals, how we can bring in those different subject matter experts to build a team that's more robust, more comprehensive, to meet the needs and the gaps that you were speaking of. Also giving a plug to our presentation from last week, Charting the Life course as a tool to really support that type of planning in meetings with large teams that are supporting individuals being guided by their voice. I invite anyone else who may have a question for our presenters today to put that in the chat, and we can follow up. I want to thank again Meredith and Leanne for joining us today and sharing that knowledge with us. And I'd like to move us now into our case presentation, and presenting today